Hey, welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
If you're gonna dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Why, hey there, my fabulous listener. Welcome to episode 244 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. Thank you, as always, for lending me your ears today. I know you have lots of choices out there, and I just always want to start the podcast with a little thank you for making my podcast one of those ones that you've tuned into today. If you are enjoying this podcast, and I would love for you to take a screenshot and share it on your socials and tag me, because it would be super cool to follow your small business journey, just like you get to follow along mine via this podcast. And of course, if you're looking for any links as I proceed with today's podcast, then you can find them in the show notes, and the show notes will be at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/244. Did you get a chance to listen to last week's episode? Last week, I had a great chat with Sarah from Brand Eliza Stock, all about using stock photos in your marketing. She had some great tips and some great info for us. So if you haven't managed to listen to that episode, then head back there and listen to episode 243. As you may or may not know, I'm currently in the depths of writing a book. It's a marketing book. I'm sure that's no surprise to you. I'm a little over 60,000 words in, and I still haven't even started on social media as a marketing strategy. So I'm a little bit stressed as to how big this book will end up and whether it will ever be finished. But had this astonishing realization the other day while I was writing a chapter. I can't believe, after 244 episodes of the Small Business Made Simple podcast, that there has not once, or I haven't once spoken about public speaking as a marketing strategy. I've often said that this podcast has been the best thing I've done for my business as far as marketing goes. But I guess the reality is that it's really speaking that has put my business on the map. So guess what? This episode is all about using public speaking as a marketing strategy. And if you don't like public speaking, that's okay. I'm here to convince you otherwise. But before I get to convince you that speaking should be part of your marketing strategy, I really just wanted to give a shout out to this week's sponsor of the podcast, which is Airtree Resort. And if that name rings a bell with you, it's probably because a few weeks ago I hosted my Women in Business #NotSoBusiness retreat there. I hired the whole resort, and I actually had about 8 women come for the retreat, and it was great. We had the whole resort to ourselves. But of course, Airtree Resort just isn't for retreats. You can have a golfing holiday there, because they actually have a driving range and a putting range, and even some bunkers that you can practice your golf. You can have a wedding there, hire out the whole venue. People can bring caravans for extra accommodation, all sorts of things. And, also it could be just like a really good winter getaway. Come up or down, depending on where you live, to my area, to my neck of the woods, and stay for a weekend or stay for a week. Jules and Squasher, who are good friends of mine, have a super friendly kid resort with lots of animals to pat and feed, and a nature playground that is seriously one of the best playgrounds. I would have loved it when my children were younger. I hope that they still have their playground when I get to be a grandma, but touch wood, that won't be for a little while. They also have a fire pit for just sitting around and contemplating life. So if you're interested, check out Airtree Resort at all the W's, airtreeresort.com.au, or find them on Instagram and Facebook. Of course, the links are in my show notes. So I was a little bit over 40 years old when I pushed myself to do more public speaking. In fact, I signed up for a course that actually taught public speaking. David Pengler is one of the best keynote speakers in the country. Lisa McGinnis Smith, who is not only one of the best motivational speakers in the country, but also named in the International Hall of Speaking fame, and Paul McCarthy, who is a certified speaking professional, were the three speaking gurus who taught me how to speak in public. They shared their experiences, their methods with the group of people that signed up with me. Um, but the thing they did most, I'd have to say, is inspire confidence. I still have a voice recording actually on my phone of the first time I nailed my 3-minute pitch in front of that group, in front of those three inspiring humans who were at the top of their game. Sometimes I actually listen to their feedback because I find it a little bit heartwarming and it really does put a smile on my face. Just one of those things that's really cool to go back and have a bit of a listen to. And I still think I nailed my pitch, even probably 6 or 7 years later it is now. So I'm still pretty chuffed that I did that. Do I still get nervous when I get up to speak to an audience? I get asked that a little bit when I start talking about speaking as a marketing strategy. And yeah, most times I actually still do get nervous. Not always, but most times. The times that I don't get nervous with speaking is when I've been mingling with the audience before I speak. I've heard some of their stories. I've learned a little bit about their business. I might have given out some hugs or some handshakes along the way. So I really feel like I felt the room. I feel like the room is a great place to be. Um, then I don't tend to get too nervous because most people I've had an interaction with before I get up in front of them. But bring me in cold where I haven't had the chance to mingle, then yes, absolutely. Every time, even after years of presenting and keynoting, I still get butterflies. They do normally disappear after a few minutes, though. Like, you get that first joke in, get the audience smiling and laughing and nodding along, and get them a little bit warmed up. And then I'm kind of just off. Not off. I'm off, not as in I'm off. I tell you these things because I think if you aren't someone who is confident at public speaking, you think that everyone who does it and everyone who does it for a living or part of their marketing strategy mustn't feel like you. They mustn't feel nervous or get butterflies like you do. But the opposite is actually really true. Most people get butterflies and get nervous before they do public speaking, even if they've been doing it for years and years. David Penglaze, who I mentioned before as the incredible speaker and one of my mentors, shared his story about he still get nerves. So he's been speaking for about 20 or more years and has traveled like literally the world speaking and keynoting and is highly sought after. And he actually has a routine before he speaks so he doesn't get nervous when he goes on the stage. So I kind of think if he still get nerves, then us mere mortals, we're allowed to get nerves as well. So my point, don't let nerves be the thing that holds you back from public speaking or from hosting workshops or from doing Facebook and Instagram lives or whatever that is where you are actually speaking to an audience. I hear the stat all the time that people would rather face death than face a crowd of people they had to speak to, or 98% of the population would rather die than public speak. But honestly, when I went hunting to find the source of those quotes and those statistics, I couldn't find one. So I'm not really sure how much of that is made up and how much isn't. But I do half believe them as someone who thought that public speaking was possibly the worst thing ever until I turned 40, or 40 and a bit. I get it. But would people rather die? I don't think so. It is scary and the heart pounds, but it's also a rush and a high. When I am speaking to an audience and someone in that audience has that aha facial expression or that aha moment where they finally get it, they finally understand it. They are some of the proudest moments in my life because I know right there that I've made a difference to that one person. That rush is worth any nerves as far as I'm concerned. Now, if I still haven't quite convinced you that you should be thinking about speaking as a marketing strategy, let's look at some of the perks of public speaking um, as marketing strategy. So, the first one, of course, is increased visibility. Public speaking provides a platform to showcase your expertise and your knowledge in front of a live audience, or maybe not a live audience. Maybe it's, well, I guess it is always a live audience, but no other marketing strategy can build trust, show your expertise, and show your knowledge as quickly as public speaking can. It's such great visibility and exposure for your business and your brand. The second reason is establishing credibility. By delivering compelling presentations or sharing valuable insights and knowledge and tips and tricks from your industry, you really do position yourself as that authority. This builds trust and credibility among your audience and potential customers, making it more likely that they will choose you when they want to buy a product or a service like the one that you actually sell, because you have built that credibility, you've built that trust with them purely from standing up and talking to them. Of course, the third reason, brand building. Public speaking allows you to align your brand with the topics you speak about. People know what you are an expert in simply by the fact that you are speaking over and over and over again about this particular topic. By consistently delivering valuable content and insights, you reinforce your brand image and values and establish that strong presence in the minds of your audience. The fourth reason why you should consider public speaking as part of your marketing strategy is networking opportunities. Speaking at industry conferences and events and seminars puts you in direct contact with like minded professionals, potential clients, and of course, influencers. Um, this offers valuable networking opportunities that can lead to amazing collaborations, maybe some partnerships, but definitely business growth. The fifth reason is lead generation. When you deliver a compelling presentation, you capture the attention of the audience by providing relevant and useful information. You become their person. Then they're the person. You become the person that they want to know more from, that they trust to learn more about the products and services. And so, if you put up, you have that opportunity to sort of go, if you'd like to know more, come and see me. If you'd like to know more, sign up to my email list. If you'd like to know more, download this really useful guide, which, is pure lead generation. And of course, if you do it well, new business opportunities. The sixth reason is amplified reach. So, public speaking engagements are often recorded or live streamed or shared on various platforms, really extending that reach beyond your physical reach that you could have. Even when people perhaps take a photo or a screenshot and they share it on their socials and they tag you in it, that's increasing your brand exposure and therefore amplifying the reach that you have. The seventh reason why you should make public speaking part of your marketing strategy is content creation. Creating presentations and speeches require thoughtful preparation, research, and ideas, and for you to organize those ideas in a relevant fashion that other people can follow. Repurpose comes here. If you are creating presentations and speeches and you're doing research, then oh my goodness, imagine the amount of things that you can repurpose into other marketing channels, and doing blog posts about them, or videos, or social media updates, or writing ebooks, or just so much. Public speaking and the process of public speaking, as in the process of creating presentations and speeches, can really expand your content as far your content marketing strategy. Number 8, there's 3 more. Thought leadership. So regular public speaking engagements can really help establish you as a thought leader in that industry that you want to be famous in. Sharing your expertise and your insights and contributing to industry conversations gains respect of your peers, enhances your reputation as a go-to person, as that go-to expert, and also attracts new opportunities and recognition. Number 9, you have an enhanced sales pitch. So public speaking hones your communication and presentation skills, making you more effective at delivering sales pitches. You think to yourself, as far as public speaking goes, if you are talking about similar messages over and over and over again, like, there's 100 ways to skin a cat. I probably shouldn't say that on the podcast. Sorry, that's the country coming out in me. But you know what I mean? Like, if you're doing something consistently, of course you're going to get better at it. Of course, you might say something and then the audience member puts their hand up and say, I don't quite understand what you meant by that. And so, as the expert that you are, you think to yourself, right, how can I explain that better? Because my audience didn't get the message that I was trying to get. So next time you hone your skill over and over and over again. That's one of the advantages of public speaking. All right, number 10, differentiation from your competitors. Absolutely. Being actively engaging in public speaking, you can really differentiate yourself from your competitors who are not actually utilizing public speaking as a marketing strategy. You become all the things that we've already mentioned. You become better at sales. You become known for thought leadership. You become, better at creating content and establishing networks and invisibility, increased visibility. It's all there. That's one of the ways you can stand out from your competitors. Now, I've talked about public speaking here as kind of like, doing, things like keynotes and seminars and conferences, but really it could be doing Facebook Lives, it could be doing Instagram Lives, it could be going to your local Rotary Club and speaking to them. It doesn't have to be big. So whether you're speaking online or offline, to a live audience or 2 people or 2,000 people, you're probably already doing a certain amount of speaking in your business, especially if you're already doing video content for social media. But are you really thinking about the marketing strategy behind it, how you could hone it, and how it could really help you build your business? And if you're already doing Facebook Lives, how could you actually do something bigger and better with the skill that you have as far as public speaking goes? Now, if you are, Jen, it's just not going to happen, babe, then let me nudge you a little bit more. Consider reaching out to a business friend and ask if they would like to do an Instagram Live or a Facebook Live with you. That way, holding the audience's attention and talking, it isn't just about you. The focus isn't going to be just about you. There's someone else there to help you if you're a bit nervous or you're stumbling over your words. But remember, nerves are a really good thing. They're not a bad thing. Maybe that's one way of getting over the hurdle of not wanting to do public speaking, or reach out to your local Rotary Club and ask if you can come and speak to them about your business journey, or at a networking event. If you go to networking events, put your hand up and say, can I be someone who does a 5-minute pitch about my business? Just do something. And if none of that works, reach out to me and I will help you do it. I will just reach out and say, Jen, I need help. Help me. And I will do it with you. Look at your social media content that you've got now and think which bits could you repurpose into a presentation or a live, because you've actually already produced that content. So if you choose a piece of content that your audience is already interested in, has already engaged in a different form, so say it's a carousel or it's just a picture or maybe it's a blog, then that can really take the pressure off you to try and get it right, to try and get the message right, because you already know that your audience will engage in that type of presentation. And my advice is try it and try it again and try it again. I've spoken to people who have done a Facebook Live in the past and no one showed up for that Facebook Live and they've never done it again. You can't do that. Everyone is really busy and you shouldn't take that as something against you. Like, people more than likely, I would say, at least one person watched the replay, even if no one turned up for the live. So don't discount it just because you've tried it before. You've got to try it again and again and again. This marketing strategy could be groundbreaking for your business. It could be the one thing that you need to stand out from your competitors. And really, it needs to be a fall down 3 times, get up 4 times type of scenario. If you can speak to people in real life, then you, my amazing listener, can do this public speaking thing. You can do it. You just need to want to do it. And you need to be willing to step outside the comfort zone and deal with all the nerves and just do it. I did a course and I paid thousands to learn what I learned during that. I think it went for 12 months. Like, it wasn't very intense, but it did go for 12 months. And as much as the people who taught me to speak were amazing speakers in themselves, and they shared stories and they shared their resources, what I really got from a few $1,000s that I spent doing that course all those years ago was confidence. Confidence in my expertise, confidence in myself, confidence that I had something to say that other people wanted to hear. So you don't need to have thousands to do a speaking program. It's great if you want to, but really what you need to do is find your confidence to step outside your comfort zone and just start. I cannot tell you and force the thought enough that this changed my business. This fundamentally changed who I am. And I know it's a little bit hard to think, oh, were you really that scared, Jen, about public speaking? I was. I was never on debate teams. I was never the person who wanted to do the presentations. I grew up in a Catholic environment, going to church all the time. I was never the person who put their hand up to go and read in front of the congregation. None of that. Public speaking was not my thing. And I don't know what happened when I turned 40. I think I just thought, well, this is ridiculous. I'm 40. Surely I can do this. And so I went and did it. So I don't know. Think about how it could change your business. And if you feel that it's something that could really change your business, then maybe it's something you need to look harder into and step outside the comfort zone and learn more about. If you've got questions or thoughts, then I'd love for you to head into my Facebook group, Like-Minded Business Owners, and share your thoughts and questions over there. Or if you want to talk more deeply to me around speaking and what it could do for your business, get in touch. Email me, Jen@JenDonovan, or DM me on Instagram. Email me at jen@jendonovan.com.au. Need to put my whole email address in there. Or DM me on Instagram or LinkedIn, because I would love to hear what you think about public speaking and what it could do for your business. So that's it. Now I have 244 episodes finally, and one of them is about speaking as a marketing strategy. Yay me. I hope you got something from it. I would love to hear about your speaking journey or your lack of speaking journey. If you loved this episode and found it valuable, I would love you to take 30 seconds out of your day and leave me a rating and review, if you can do that in whatever app you are listening to this podcast on. One goal of mine, as you may already know, is to reach more people with this podcast. And you can really help me achieve that by leaving me a review. So thank you so much for that. I will see you next week on episode 245. Thanks again to Airtree Resort for sponsoring this podcast episode. If you want to have a winter getaway or you need to forward book your summer getaway, then check out Airtree at all the W's, airtreeresort.com.au. The links, of course, are in the show notes. Airtree, in case you are wondering, is AIRTREERESORT. So Airtree Resort. In the meantime, if we're not already hanging out on social, let's find each other and get social on social. But whatever you do, remember, my small business peep, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
No time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud, be true, and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.
I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Yorta Yorta people, on which I record this podcast and conduct my business today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend this respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today as well.